You are now watching Zaclasage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' peeps? Welcome back to the channel. Zaclasage here. We're going to be going over the grand finals. Mew VMAX versus Suicune Path to the Peak. Who's going to win? Well, if you watched the Late Night Series number 20 event unfold on the Atlas TCG stream, it is one of those things where you probably already found it out, and you can find it out through the Play Limitless website. But we're going to find out how the player who won this event, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but if you know, you know, we're going to see exactly how it goes. So stay tuned, let's watch some awesome gameplay and see how this all unfolded. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's jump into it. So here we have it, the grand finals of the Late Night Series number 21. Did I think we were going to get to a grand finals video? I actually did not think we were going to get to a grand finals video. The only player who is able to stream their games is Vicari at 23, who's playing Mew VMAX. And they're going to be playing against Job at the top, Jay Shurhan, playing Suicune Path to the Peak. So really, I think this is one of those matchups where Path to the Peak is going to be good if Path to the Peak is good, and we're going to see how that works out. I honestly did not see how this finals was ever going to play out, and it looked like we would have seen Duraludon versus Duraludon, but both Duraludons did not make it through. So I thought it was going to be Duraludon Mirror. I was a little bit wrong. Mew being off to an explosive start with Battle VIP Pass, double Battle VIP Pass, and getting the full bench seems great. Getting an energy down here would be amazing. Having access to a stadium card in your hand to bump Path to the Peak if we have the Suicune player playing it down at all. I think you want to put the Old Cemetery on top of the deck if you're going to be doing anything. So you could rip that off the top of the deck, not using Fusion Strike system this turn because you want to see that there, especially if your opponent is able to Marnie you. And you can see they're appropriately going through that play. And let's see exactly what's going to be going on for Suicune here. Now, the Suicune deck looks like it's going to be based off of Tate Whitesell's list, but we are seeing that call for that capture energy. I almost want to call it a call energy because I'm an old school Pokemon player, but it is going to be searching for a Suicune. We do see a path, and Keep Calling is going to get those Pokemon on the bench, powering up Blizzard Rondo for a future turn. I'd like to see a deeper search of the deck while we're in the grand finals, but it looks like they're going to be just kind of speeding through that turn. That Old Cemetery being clutch from on top of the deck from the Rotom Phone, bumping off Path to the Peak, which means that Fusion Strike system is going to be able to run rampant. I do like powering up both of these Mews here, and then we really just need to see an energy coming off for Mew VMAX to advance on here. That being said, I mean, when it comes to the Mew VMAX deck, I think it's just going to be a switch into there, and we're looking for an energy to get a freebie prize card here. Let's see. Do we see an energy? I think Great Ball could be really cool here. There's a lot of things that could be really cool here. We do got to watch out, though. There are 3 Fan of Waves and 3 Crushing Hammers and an Echoing Horn in the Suicune deck. Those are some really spicy cards. So it could really go any way, but Suicune does seem more well-equipped to beat the Mew deck. No energy there, but maybe the Cram-o-matic with the Power Tablet. Okay, yes, we did get the heads, so that is going to search for an energy. You want to be searching for a basic Psychic Energy here, so that you're not necessarily at the mercy of a Fan of Waves. So I think at this point we're going to see some kind of attack coming from the Mew VMAX that's just going to get a knockout on the Sobble. Take your prize cards while you can get them. The Mew also plays 4 stadiums, so that's going to be helpful against the 3 Path to the Peak. So only 2 Path to the Peaks left on Suicune's side, but those other stadiums are in hand, and there is the Fog Crystal to grab another energy in case Crushing Hammer and Fan of Waves comes out to play. There is no Tool Scrappers, so that Cape of Toughness might be difficult to get by when it comes down to the matchup in general. But if they don't have Cape of Toughness and they don't have a lot of things, you just can't tell. The fact that they're using Suicune first to draw cards means that we might see the Melony, or the lack thereof. It depends on how they're sequencing it. I think they probably sequenced it out correctly, but we'll see exactly what they have chilling with their hand. What can they get out this turn? I mean, if anything, Crushing Hammer would be huge here. Path to the Peak, Melony getting an attack off, those are all really good things. The Suicune deck is very similar to an Ice Rider deck, except it's a basic Pokemon instead of a Stage 1 Pokemon, or an Evolution Pokemon, I should say. So maybe this version does have a little bit more space for more disruption cards. Maybe the disruption cards are better against Mew, which makes this better suited for the metagame. This is the highest placing I've ever seen for this deck at any major event, so I'm really hyped to see it, kind of a new deck or a new take on the deck seeing success. So yeah, triple Drizzile is going to be huge, but maybe not having access to Shady Dealings next turn might be the demise for Suicune. That is something that you got to watch out for. We still haven't seen Melony. We still haven't seen a lot of things. So there's still a lot to kind of figure out as this matchup progresses. So there's Melony. That's step one. I mean, this Mew's not going to get knocked out. There's no Ludicolo in this deck. There is the 20 damage there. Let's see exactly how this next turn plays out. Will they get the Cape of Toughness? What's going to be going on? Okay, so there's just a Blizzard Rondo, no Sobble going down. I mean, there's no other Sobble, but there was also no Scoop of Nets. At this point, I think using Fog Crystal is a great card. You might want to go Fog Crystal. There's a lot of ways that you could play this out. You might want to go Boss's Orders, or maybe try to go Psychic Leap. You might just want to get an attack off. I mean, this does draw 3 prize cards with 1 Mew, and it looks like we're just going to go everything ahead. So there's the Techno Blast. I mean, let's see what they could follow it up. When it comes to anything that they're looking for this turn, I think Shady Dealings Inteleon is really going to be the card to come down. If Shady Dealings Inteleon does come down, that would be able to get Melony, maybe another Path to the Peak. But right now, this Suicune, we'll have to see what it gets here. So the reason why you would be using the Fleet-Footed before using Melony or before using anything is that it does give you opportunities to make plays. And what I mean by that is just like, if you use something like Inteleon with Shady Dealings, you're thinning through your deck of getting cards, so maybe you don't play that Inteleon down if you draw the right card off Fleet-Footed and Melony first. So I think the Suicune player is doing an excellent job sequencing. The only thing that I'd say is maybe to search through their prize cards a little bit more. I guarantee you that they do not know what 6 cards are in their prize cards right now at this point, which is a serious thing that could really affect your gameplay when it comes playing in the grand finals. So the fact that Melony was already played down means that Marnie is not really going to happen. And I think based off the way that I've seen the prize cards play out for this, it looks like Mew doesn't necessarily have a follow-up attack. As far as I'm concerned, I'm also not sure why they're using that, why they're pitching the energy. Do they not have an extra water energy in their deck? They have the Capacious Buckets. It's kind of confusing to me. Maybe they're trying to rid their hand of Crushing Hammers, but I think that Crushing Hammers would matter. Maybe they're playing a Crobat to try to draw extra cards, but they've already played a Path to the Peak. So the Crushing Hammer probably just should have stayed in their hands, unless they're, again, just trying to thin their hands. I think we're going to see a pass here. Unless, of course, they were just playing a Crushing Hammer just cuz. Yeah, there's the just cuz, really. So I think at this point, you just go for the knockout. You use Techno Blast last turn. You need to get 1 more Power Tablet to get the knockouts. So this would be great to take out the Battle VIP Pass. Are we going to get the heads? We do get the heads. Definitely want to grab a Power Tablet here. Does the Vitality Band math matter? The Suicune has 260 HP. You're doing 210 damage plus 250. So the math doesn't look like it matters here. It looks like the Power Tablets being wasted earlier on in the game means that there's not going to be a knockout taken. However, this does work out pretty well to maybe use, maybe try to get an Elesa Sparkle off and attack with something else. The Melodious Echo doesn't really change too much here. Really not a great setup from the Suicune. Missing that extra energy is tough, so maybe Capacious Bucket's prized, or maybe they didn't necessarily draw it, or a lot of things. So that could have also changed the sequencing order as well. Kind of interesting. Not sure how I feel about attacking with the Meloetta here, to be honest. But there are the other Fusion Strike energies. I'm surprised. I guess the Fan of Waves did put it back into the deck, not discarding it. So that's another thing that I had to realize real quick. Yeah, it's a tough one on deciding who you really want to bring up here. Cool. At this point, I would definitely try to bump the Path to the Peak. Path to the Peak would be a great card to kind of bump up here. Don't know why we're not bumping it, because a Marnie could really take all those access to supporters away. Like, you'd want to have your opponent with only one path left and have one stadium left. Or have the stadiums left to really handle it. So I'm not a huge fan of that turn, but if we look at it, that would have been a knockout anyway, so just getting a freebie attack is kind of hot. We'll have to see exactly what Suicune's able to do. Suicune's own Fleet-Footed is going to be cut off from their Path to the Peak. So maybe they just sense that their opponent had a weaker bit of a hand or something like that, and they're just doing quick shooting damage just because. No reason not to, right? Okay, are they going to play down the Crobat under Path? Or are they just getting Crobat out of their deck because they're trying to thin their hand out a little bit? It's always these weird moments where you think they're just trying to thin their hand out a little bit, but the fact that they don't have access to Drizzile or access to Shady Dealings right now is a little bit difficult. Okay, they're going to pitch their hands. I think that's completely fine. Let's see exactly how this plays out. Level Ball's not really going to be able to grab too much here because the other Sobble got knocked out relatively early. Fan of Waves probably taking the energy off of the Mew. And I mean, we'll have to see. We'd like to see another Elesa Sparkles here from Mew. I think that would definitely work out here. Putting that Mew V active is definitely going to be the play. It does have free retreat to try to follow it up because both players are very close to it. Again, I would not send up the Elesa unless, of course, you're trying to switch to draw more cards, but that might be a little bit difficult to deal with. So I'm not sure. If they play the Switch, it's fine. Otherwise, I'm not really a huge fan. Training Court is definitely the card to play here, so you can get back an energy. Not a fan of that Rose Tower because there is the energy in the discard pile, and we're not seeing another anything hit the board. I think playing Power Tablet at this point is fine because we obviously don't have access to other Power Tablets in the deck. And maybe you just use the Switch. This is definitely a turn to use Cram-o-matic, if I ever saw one. Or maybe the other energies in the deck and you just put the Fog Crystal on top of the deck. It does seem incredibly awkward here, though. Like, I would have really liked to see that Training Court just get that energy back. Yeah, putting the Mew up active would have been much better if we're using Cram-o-matic there. Not entirely sure this turn seems like it's starting to become a little bit of a train wreck, and with that energy in the hand, it just means that that Mew VMAX is likely just not getting powered up again. It's just like a really awkward case of a lack of energies now, and maybe we'll have to see how it plays out. Crushing Hammers could be absolutely detrimental. So now we have to attack with a Meloetta instead of having the chance to attack with a Mew. I'd like to draw some more cards if we could with Fusion Strike System. I think that would have been better to get those Fusion Strike Systems out of the way. But with only one prize card left, I mean, Mew could still easily take this game. I think that's quite a possibility here. So there's the Cape of Toughness. I mean, if there is a Melony, it looks like this Meloetta is going to get knocked out. So really, the Suicune player is very close to just winning this game next turn. This Mew player cannot win the game the following turn. So I feel like that last turn could have gone a little bit better. This is really one of the reasons why switching cups is even in the equation for some of these Mew decks. It is a possible card that players might want to play. So we'll have to look at that a little bit more, because that Fusion Strike energy could have gone back in the deck. Elesa Sparkles could have been legitimate. And here, like, since Mew has no access to Marnie, this player is going to gain access back to Shady Dealings. Or maybe they're just going to lift it off their bench because... So there's Blizzard Rondo, 160. Cool. Let's see what Mew's able to do here. I don't know how many Crushing Hammers that player's played already, the Suicune player. But I definitely think attaching an energy there is great. And playing Training Court to block the last path to the peak is great. Let's see exactly how this plays out. I mean, I think you have to go Boss's Orders on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Try to get the Suicune out of the active spots. I think that sounds like a real great idea. So. They can't really power up too much, so maybe just bring up the... It doesn't really matter. I think, yeah. That seems fine, and I mean, at this point, I think passing is literally the only thing acceptable. They can only do 160, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 160. So if they have Boss's Orders, they win the game with Quick Shooting. Not sure why that was the play, to switch and do that. Will they get the Crushing Hammer heads? No Crushing Hammer heads. I would have liked to see the Crushing Hammer played first, so at least they could understand or come up with a game plan if their Crushing Hammer got tails. But if there's no Boss's Orders, it does look like it's going to be game for the Mew player. I mean, I guess, yeah, they used Melony, so they can't really Marnie. There's a Cape of Toughness. That doesn't really matter at that point. Oh, they didn't? Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. I thought they played the Melony, whatever, but it looks like this is just game for Mew again, with no Boss's Orders. I don't know why they didn't put the Sobble down last turn either, because the Mew could have knocked out anything. It just really seems like maybe it's some late night jitters or first time making grand finals jitters, but that's completely fine. It happens to everyone from time to time. Looks like it's just going to be 180 damage to this Mew, or 160 I should say, because something did get knocked out. And yeah, there goes Psychic Energy attached to the Mew, and then Boss's Orders, grab your last prize card. I mean, I guess you could also just grab the energy back with Training Court, that works out too, but really getting that dub. So looks like Mew's taking the dub this game. It doesn't really matter what they could have knocked out, as long as it was just anything but the Suicune. And I think the Suicune player is going to be choosing to go first this upcoming game. So jumping into game 2 of the grand finals, we do see that Suicune started off with an energy, a Cape of Toughness, really protecting it from like a turn 1 Meloetta play that looks quite possible. But you want to know what? It is still quite possible for this play to absolutely pop off. We see the Elesa Sparkles, we are going to see the Mew powered up, we are going to see the Meloetta fully powered up, and it's going to be swinging for 210 at the bare minimum. This is really where Meloetta could go absolutely crazy right now, and I think getting 2 Power Tablets would literally put Mew in such a winning position. Getting more cards out with Great Ball seems absolutely incredible here. And I would just use the Evolution Incense, fail the search, to draw less cards. Power Tablet, definitely a card you want to put on top of your deck. So getting a little bit fortunate there with the Power Tablet already. Using Fusion Strike system seems great. Maybe they're keeping the item in their hand to just get around it. There you go, double Power Tablet. So that means that the Suicune with the Cape of Toughness is going to get knocked out on Mew's first turn. Like, I can't stress this enough that, like, literally it's crazy. Don't know why they didn't draw more cards. If their opponent plays Marnie, that's fine. I think it's just better to draw extra cards and put something else like that. Maybe getting another Rotom Phone. Just want to double check on the Rotom count. Okay, they only play 2 Rotom Phones in this particular Mew list, so maybe they wouldn't necessarily draw into another Rotom Phone, but so far so good. You really can't complain of whatever is going on. Crushing Hammer tails, like, You could just go boss's orders, knock up another Suicune if they don't have a cape of toughness. Like, their opponent had an ideal start, and it's just whatever. So the fact that they're going boss's orders could literally just... It's going to be a third prize card drawn. And I mean, let's just see if they can find a Switch and Escape Rope. We do see a Cram-o-matic, so I mean, I'd like to see Cram-o-matic discarding the Great Ball first. So there's heads. I think Switch or Escape Rope's great. They already had an energy attached to one of their Pokemon in play. So Switch seems like the play here. I think switching into the Mew is awesome. Because Mew does have free retreat. There's the Mew VMAX, so I mean, we see everything that's going on there. This, to me, seems like it's absolutely over for the Suicune player. It's crazy. So we're going to go ahead, switch here, switch into the... I don't know why we're not switching into the Mew, because Mew does have free retreat. There's no reason to not have that. It's just literally potentially offering your opponent a Sobble, or potentially offering your opponent a Meloetta for no reason. So definitely a different play that I would make, more of an interesting play. They still have the Training Court in their hand. I'd like to see another Fusion Strike system maximizing these drawing cards, having access for things next turn. I'd like to see a Rotom Phone to try to stack a Stadium on top of your deck, and we do see the Rose Tower. So those Rotom Phones, 2 Rotom Phones in the deck, and they're definitely putting the right cards on top. Again, that Mew would have been so much better attacking in the front than this Meloetta, because then you would have been able to copy Melodious Echo to knock out your opponent's Suicune. Now, in order for things to happen, your opponent's, like, right now the Suicune player still has to, let's see what they are able to get. So let's see if they're able to get Melony, Suicune, Energy away out of the active spots. So far, we don't see those cards hitting the table. We're really waiting to see. Where's that Suicune? Where's those energies? Where's that Melony? Maybe a boss might be advantageous here. So if we're seeing a Professor's Research, that means we're seeing another turn without an attack. So we are not going to be able to see an attack because there's no way to accelerate those energies to a Suicune. So again, further setting the Suicune deck back. Fan of Waves, certainly not a bad card. Elsa Sparkles is a way around that. So really not a crazy turn. We could see a knockout on that Suicune on the bench. I think a Fusion Strike Energy just gets it. We do see, I think, the third Cram-o-matic heads. So a Fusion Strike Energy boss's order is quite aggressive. Again, I'd like to see this Mew attacking, so this Meloetta is protected. It's very, very, very good in this matchup. But we might just see a concession here. I really don't see how Suicune's coming back. Like, the game's absolutely over. I don't know why we're not drawing cards with Genesect. I think the Mew players, like, we ran well enough. We ran really hot this game. Let's hope our opponent just concedes, or maybe they're very excited and missing some opportunities. There's a lot of things that are just not working out for both players in this game. I don't, like, sometimes I watch these finals and it's very interesting gameplay is the way that I'd put it. Very interesting gameplay. Gameplay that I would not make myself personally, but I think it does not matter too much because the Mew player looks like they're in such an advantage. But you never know, Path to the Peak really might get around here, maybe we're going to see a Crushing Hammerheads, a Fan of Waves. There's nothing to reset the hand if they use Melony, so you're really not at the mercy. So yeah, definitely evolving between the Sobbles and the Drizziles, a bit of a yikes. We have not using Fusion Strike system, a bit of a yikes. Attacking with Meloetta, a bit of a yikes. Not utilizing free retreat. So there's a lot of plays that I think we could make differently, but this is really an opportunity for these players to particularly learn about these matchups and understand how they can improve. Because I would be lying to you if I said that I play perfectly in every single finals or every game of Pokemon that I play in. I just know that it's good to bring these things up so that players all have a learning experience. So we do see the Fan of Waves that is going to go away from the Mew. Again, this if that Mew was attacking, nothing would be getting knocked out, and the Suicune would still be chilling at 6 prize cards. So they would just be able to use Melodious Echo for the win. But now we're about to lose 3 energies in 1 turn, bringing the Suicune player closer to winning the game. So maybe these players have some kind of reason. Maybe they'll watch the grand finals match and be like, you want to know what, I was half asleep, or I was really nervous, or you want to know what, here was my big brain play that worked out or didn't work out. I'm only one player, so there's only so much that I could ever commentate about these games and understand. I just try to pass my wisdom whenever possible. So there's the path to the peak. We do see... We do see what's likely going to be a win. If there is a energy at all for the Mew player, they do just win the game. I'm not sure if they have one in their discard pile for training courts. It looks like they don't based off Rose Tower. I'd be kind of disappointed if they did, I'm not going to lie. But we'll see. We just need to see an energy. The boss's orders does not matter, so you actually want to pitch the boss's orders away. You probably want to grab another Genesect to maximize yourself drawing cards here. You probably want to go Quick Ball away the other cards as well, because you win the game this turn if you get it. So clear this hand out, play it all out. It's not hard to get an energy, an Elesa Sparkle. You know the energies are in there. We do see the energy off the Rose Tower, so that's going to be an energy. We can go ahead and use... We can get the attack off right now. I'm not sure if they're trying to play it all out to make sure that they're not doing their math wrong. But we do see the Techno Blast, and it does look like Mew VMAX is going to win yet another late night events. And that's what we have going on for our video today. We have Mew VMAX winning the event, so major congratulations to everyone who participated, to our winners, our runner-up, everyone. So I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more of these events. They happen every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you're not necessarily able to play in those events or anything else like that, by all means, stay tuned and watch the content about it on my channel. Or you could even watch it live on Twitch every single Monday, starting around midnight Eastern. So I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great day. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.